for all the high tech and everything they have, all this crazy stuff they do. Just a little bit
whoop.
of sleight of hand will get you right everything you want.
What an adventure. It was so much
Seriously.
fun. It was so much fun. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Narratives and Nonsense. We are friends talking about random and recent stories, newsworthy or otherwise. I'm Jordan, Gildan for the win, and this is...
It's your guy, Connor, the Eldritch Blaster, the five-string master, the possessor of no rings, and the devourer. I eat them all up of your onion ring.
Dude, they're so good. You know what I've been doing lately? I've been getting salad with like the French fried onions. It's like the step adjacent to onion rings, and it's made salad so much more enjoyable.
That's a good call.
Right? I'm like, yes, it's a little bit of bad, but it's helping me get the good. That's what I need.
I always love that with green beans, mushroom soup, and those. Oof.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
Anyway, so Connor, how have you been? How's your week?
It's been good. It's the same old, the grind. Putting doors where there weren't any before. Sorry to clear my throat.
Yeah, no worries. So, nice and chill, just going through the motions type of thing.
Weather's been good, so that's made everything really easy.
Oh my gosh, dude, tell me about it. Like, with the exception of like last Monday or Tuesday or something, we had a little bit of snow, and then it was gone. Literally, since then it's been 70s, just coasting through. I know this next week, like supposedly Tuesday or Wednesday, we might have a little bit of rain, and then somewhere in like the 50s, so it's colder, but it's not like frozen over snow and the like. That's kind of where we're at currently. It's been nice. Besides that, goodness, how have I been? This last week was entertaining. So on Monday last week, I went to jury duty. I was summoned, and boy howdy, this is the first time that I've ever been summoned for jury duty. I had no idea what to expect. Apparently you can dress business casual. I showed up in a suit. Had no idea that it could be a little bit more laid back, but whatever. I was prepared. I like packed a full lunch. I brought a book because I heard that there could be moments of like sitting and waiting and doing nothing in between things. I had a notepad and pencil at the ready, whether it was I'm taking notes during the meeting or if I wanted to write something down for like D&D because I'm bored sitting in the middle of something. I was ready for like a marathon. I get there at 7:45, and I have this kind of inside joke with one of my friends where I have stupid luck. It's not just luck. If I was lucky, I just wouldn't have been summoned at all, I would say. It's stupid luck where it's like something happens and then just at the last second it does a little like flipperoonie on it. So allow me to read off what I wrote immediately the day after to my former roommate Andy, who has borne witness to a lot of my stupid luck. To continue the trend, I reported at 7:45 for jury duty. There were 84 jurors and 4 trials for that morning. All the names that were called, they kept like explicitly mentioning it's not alphabetized, it's not organized in any way. These are chosen at random. As far as each of the trials and who's been showing up and all of that. For the first trial, they announced that it's going to be 18 people serving on the jury. The names are called, and I'm left with a pool of 66 people that are, ready and waiting for jury duty. Trial 2, another 18 people are called one by one. It's something where they stand at the front, and each person that gets called, they get a sticker saying Juror 1, Juror 2, Juror 3. Apparently, according to one of the older gentlemen that was serving that day, they said that our system was very efficient. I have nothing to base that off of. I was kind of sitting there like, why are we doing this manually and not having this like done electronically, or like here you just like you go walk up to the thing, push a button, it gives you whether you're a juror or not that day. That was kind of my thought, but I'm also a nerd and I embrace sci-fi. There's probably reasons not. Beside the point, another 18 people are called. There's still 48 people remaining. Trial 3, another 18 people, one by one. Again, I'm not chosen of those 18, and now there are 30 people left. Of those 30, the gentleman goes up to the front and says, "Hey, so we have some extra jurors that have showed up for duty. You guys are awesome. You know, we always love it when uh, more people than necessary show up, either because if, you know, somebody gets in a car crash on the way, or if there are people that need to drop out for whatever reasons, they need to replace the jurors, or if they have like a need for extra jurors on a trial, or if they have like a pop-up thing that needs addressing for the people showing up for jury duty, they have that leeway. Out of the 30 people, they have trial for with another 18. There are 12 people remaining. There's only 12 people that they have as superfluous jurors that have been called. These 12 people get to go home. They announce one by one, same thing. So there's 11 jurors that get to go home, 10 jurors, 9 jurors, 8 jurors, 7 jurors, 6 jurors. Just, all right, here's, you're free to go, you're free to go, you're free to go. Literally, the last juror, the last person that is called to go home, and I want to emphasize this isn't alphabetized or categorized, is Jordan Wilson Zink. It feels alphabetical. My last name starts with a Z. I was like,
No kidding.
Oh. and so part of me is like, wow, like I gotta have like a new experience. That's kind of fun. I was well prepared for the rest of my day to be here, and stupid luck says, nah, dude, you're good. Go home. You're fine. It's just one adventure. So I wanted to say that because I had never experienced anything like jury duty, and technically I still haven't. I was given an early dismissal. It still meant that I was there from 7:45 and didn't get to clock into work until like 10:50, but point remains, it was an entertaining experience for me. Um just, all right, cool. It's an excuse to leave the house in these days of COVID. Outside of that, what goodness, we finished Halo 3. We as of the recording, we will be starting ODST. For those watching at
Nice.
home, like that's the next trip for Halo, and I'm very excited. I've
Love
heard lots of good
ODST.
things. Yeah, yeah. And then what else? Kingdom Hearts 1. Okay. We were going to finish Kingdom Hearts 1, and my dear friend John was skiing. He gets back like 2 hours before we were going to like get ready, get some food, and then start streaming it. He's dying. He's just like, I am exhausted. To be fair, he did go skiing, so we ended up postponing. What I ended up doing is I started Chain of Memories, the next in the Kingdom Hearts line, and from there I ground. God, I think on camera, I think I made it to like level 14 or 15. I think we're now in the 20s or something like that. I've just been slowly getting cards and Moogle points without progressing the story. So we can kind of jump in there and just hit the ball running, or whatever I'm trying to say, whatever the idiom, the phrase is. So yeah, that's been my week, and partially the week to come. That said, transitioning over to like news things, Connor, I know you had somebody that you wanted to talk about, and this is very recent. This would be yesterday as the time of this recording.
Yeah, we unfortunately lost yet another great musician. Comes all too quickly. Taylor Hawkins, he's the drummer for the Foo Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Passed away at 50. Very unfortunate, but
Yep.
guy was a really, really cool dude, and he was always a really great drummer. So sad to see him go.
Agreed. And I think it's something where a lot of band musicians tend to be a lot more chill or cool than like single person artists.
Yeah,
That tends to be my vibe. That's naturally, there's always exceptions, but
very
that's
much
something.
so.
Yeah, especially with Foo Fighters. I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah.
something that I've been listening to them for a while. Um, Outside of that, though, on the like in celebrating, that legacy and transitioning into uplifting things, um, down in Florida, currently there is a bill that is being signed or proposed or the like, that would be restricting educators and the like for when or where they can talk about gender identity and sexual orientation. And there has been a lot of pushback against it, naturally. And right now in South Florida, it's something where we've been seeing a ton of walkout protests and the like from high school students and the like all over the place. So that was something that I wanted to bring up uh, on a similar thing of like the people trying to go against the bigger grain. The There's the Seattle Starbucks recently that actually voted to unionize, and people are kind of looking at that as,
Unionize.
yeah, people are looking at that as a sign for whether it's fast food or restaurant worker rights, that kind of thing. Just for stuff to kind of turn around a little bit more on that front, which, given that we saw the stuff with like Amazon lately, just a couple weeks back, it does look like we're getting more of those things kind of jumping into play. And then on kind of the grander, more philanthropic side of things, and talking about Amazon, Mackenzie Scott. This is Jeff Bezos's ex-wife. They divorced in 2019. She was one of the first employees at Amazon. She, like, most of her wealth is because she has like a 4% interest in Amazon.
As one person, holy
Yeah, one person has 4% of that, and then
Jesus.
with that, she primarily works as an author and now has dipped a lot into the philanthropy side. From like today, going back to just June of last year, apparently she has donated $3.8 billion to 465 different
Jesus.
organizations. I mean, it's massive. And to be fair, like,
Wow.
she currently, I think her estimated worth is in the 50s or $60 billion range. She's in the US, she's the third wealthiest woman, period. And then in the world, she's in like the 20s, depending on how you look at it. I mean, she's well off, but she has made I think it's called the Charity Pledge, where it really is something where she signed off on saying like she's going to make the effort to try to donate most of her wealth, whether that's throughout her lifetime or if it's something that's written into her will. And she's been acting through on it. I
Nice.
mean, she's had a couple $1 billion. Like the 3.8, that's just from last summer. That's it. Just from now, all going back to last summer. But prior to that, she's had another like several $1 billion that she's given to different organizations. More recently, just this last week, she announced that she is pledging 436 million for Habitat for Humanity, and then another 275 million for Planned Parenthood. So she's just continuing that trend. And boy, wouldn't it be great to be a serial philanthropist? Like, I want to kind of know what
Seriously.
that day to day is like. Currently, she's with a science teacher, which, like, talk about a difference in your kind of lifestyles. Like, this one person goes to school to educate the youth of today, kind of thing, and then the other person is literally like signing paperwork after paperwork. I imagine it must be kind of like a full-time job if you don't just give people like, I don't know how many underlings you would need to say, hey, I need you to
Yeah.
just like, I want to donate a lot to this, and then they just make it happen, or do they pick the number?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I
it's
imagine there's some
crazy.
inspections or research process too that they
Yeah,
look into. I would think
yeah, it's
like
something where
it's
you
got to
always
be a
want
bit of an
to.
undertaking.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that you wouldn't be well researched into what it is that you're going to be donating for. Um, Whether that's something that, they do
Certainly
like a
hope so.
top down thing, or if it's just like you go to dinner with people that work in the organization to get a feel for them, get a feel for the people they work for or do or what have you. I mean, it it's crazy to think about. Um, that said, continuing off of philanthropy, uh, Ukraine. We got to always talk about it. On the brighter side of things in Ukraine, So you know Grammarly, right? The
Yes.
it's a web service.
The
You get it.
revolutionary writing
the
service.
the hey, remember all those English classes you took? Well, we can do that for you. um, so with Grammarly was founded by Ukrainians. Fun fact, and they're doing a pretty cool kind of bro move where they have a number of staff that are fighting in the Ukrainian military, and they are continuing to pay their staff in addition to naturally, working as a soldier. That's something where you would get your own kind of correspondent, whatever you want to say. You get your own payment, blah blah blah. So the fact that Grammarly is still like putting it out there that hey, we're completely with you in this. We still want to show you your support. In fact, the fact that it was founded by Ukrainians, it really does show kind of the solidarity between the company and the people, which is really great.
Yeah. Well, and it's so nice of them to continue to support them as they go through their services.
Oh yeah,
Big
yeah,
move.
absolutely. And then similarly, another thing that was really cool. This is a little bit more personable. Um, in the midst of all of the fighting and the like, there were 4 children that are currently undergoing cancer treatments and the like. They did manage to get to Poland, so it's something where the state of their health was kind of questionable. Like, okay, how are they going to continue to get help or continue their treatments? And uh, in a really cool show of assistance, the U.S. actually airlifted them so that they can get to, I believe it was St. Jude's Hospital, so they can continue their cancer treatment. Um, out of
That's
like taking them from Poland where they got all the way across the pond, as it were, just to make sure that they're good to go. That was really cool. That was something that I um it's great to see that there is that kind of solidarity between places, and it's really tough to do something like that for Ukraine proper. You can't just start airlifting people out without really poking the bear of Russia.
oh yeah. I mean, it's a literal war zone. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's something where if you start going as far as that, I mean, at that point you're almost declaring war. So the fact that we're able to get them out of Poland, which I know Poland has had a very like open door policy. They're really willing to take in just about everybody, and they're kind of running into their own logistical struggle of like trying to get everybody documented and making sure they know who's coming in and providing whether it's for work or for housing or the like. There was a study in the University of Warsaw where something like 90% of the people they surveyed were either willing or actively helping some people. Like they considered people in Ukraine as being neighbors rather than like some kind of othered thing. It really is pretty cool with that. And the last thing that was really kind of fun and heartwarming was there was a 7-year-old who went viral because she was singing uh, to the tune of Let It Go in the middle of this bunker. And watching the video, I mean, it's something where it really is kind of a show-stopping thing. There's a bunch of commotion and activity. She starts singing, and everybody just like stops on a dime, and it's just complete silence as she just belts it out. And since then, she's now performed in Poland at the Atlas Arena for thousands of people, and this was recorded naturally as well. And uh, this 7-year-old got the chance to sing the Ukrainian anthem to all of these people, and that's just pretty cool. Like, talk about your 15 minutes of fame. That's like that steps it up, and we'll see if she continues her singing career. If anything, I would think that would be a little inspirational. Like, it really is just a full turnaround. So lots of heartwarming stuff still coming out of there.
totally.
And then carrying on from that, we have some fun holidays for this week. Uh, the first one, this makes me giggle. Weed Appreciation Day. No, it's not marijuana. It's not 420, which I don't even know if that's official. We're gonna have to look that up as we get to it. But Weed Appreciation Day is for your literal weeds. It's for like dandelions and the like, and just acknowledging that plant life that we would often just kind of dissuade as being a pest, a plague upon our lawns and the like. It does actually have different effects or uses, like for dandelions in particular. Those have been used both for their leaves for dyes or petals for dyes, and then going to like the leaves and roots. You have things like dandelion tea, which is a good kind of like digestive encourager, whatever you want to say. So next time you look at your weed, maybe consider that it's not just trash, that you could actually make something of it. Um, After that, there's a very cute one, Respect Your Cat Day. I like cats. Cats are great.
Don't mess with cats, people.
Don't
Don't
mess
mess
with
with. You saw what happened on Netflix. You saw.
They're wonderful.
We all know.
Then there's Lady Gaga's birthday is today, so celebrate. If you were born this way, going back to the high schoolers protesting for the what's been dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill. There's a little bit of a source of inspiration for you. And then we get into the food stuff. One of the more entertaining named days that I've seen is something on a stick day, whether that's, I don't even know, like corn dogs or kebabs, or I mean, there's so many things that people have just been like, oh yeah. I'd wonder if I feel like s'mores can partially count with when you're roasting marshmallows. That's something on a stick.
Or
Yeah.
my personal favorite, chocolate dipped cheesecake on a stick. One of my personals.
Dude, chocolate dipping anything. Oh,
yeah.
fantastic.
It's just that I can have portable cheesecake. You know
Right?
what I mean? That really ups the game for me.
Oh, absolutely. And piggybacking off of that, for cake, we also have Black Forest Cake Day. If you wanted to talk about that one.
Do love me some Black Forest cake.
Yeah. I only recognize it from being the cake in Portal, but you had a little bit more with it.
Yeah, we used to make that back when I was in the Boy Scouts. When we go camping, we used to cook it out of Dutch ovens, like these little cast iron little pot things. You can just stick them in the fire with some charcoals on top. We used to make Black Forest cherry cake out of there. It was absolutely delicious.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then to round it all off, we have the fun ruiner, but for a good reason. There's Triglycerides Day. And that's essentially any of your lipids, so fats, watching your cholesterol, that kind of stuff. After you enjoy your something on a stick or your your Black Forest cake, just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Either work it off, get some exercise in, eat your salad, or you can even go as far as like getting tested and just making sure that your blood work's coming in well. With all that being said, what is the mission today, sir? Should you choose to accept it?
It is an impossible one, an undertaking not seen in many years.
Yeah,
but here we are.
So neither of us had watched the original Mission Impossible. And
it was possible.
It was impossible. And now it has been made probable. It's done. We finished it. Boy, what an adventure. Considering that this came out back in the 90s, and this franchise is still going, like Tom Cruise has not stopped. It's weird seeing babyface Tom Cruise. Like,
yeah,
holy crap, he was a small child back then. And
baby still looks like Maverick from Top Gun almost.
Yeah, and boy, there's so much to talk about this with this movie. I mean, without going into spoilers, the cinematography was awesome. Like it was weird and refreshing, and I don't even know. It felt like all of the camera work really aided in the tenseness of moments and really immersed you with what was going on. There's a lot of POV shots that I think were fantastic. There's a lot of extreme close-ups, especially for for heightening the tension of moments, and then there's a bunch of Dutch angles that, unlike something like Thor, where it feels like they're thrown in willy nilly all over the place, it felt like every Dutch angle here really had a purpose, whether it was to actively try to like make it feel more unnerving as far as what's going on, or it was something about the staging of where people are. So you got a different angle where somebody is a little bit further back, but they feel larger, because you can see most of them compared to the person in the foreground. I mean, it was fantastic. I don't even know like how many different places where I was just sitting there watching and going, that's cool. That looks great. That's awesome. Good on that. Like the entire time, just going from the camera perspective, I really did enjoy that. And then following that, there was also the sound and the music. I mean, Mission Impossible has been around for a while. It's something where everyone knows the theme, the bum 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 bum. Like that, it at this point, I would say it's probably as well known as like Star Wars's theme or the Jaws theme. I mean, anytime that there's all right, we're gonna do a sneaky thing in a movie, you cue the Mission Impossible theme. And funnily enough, while the score as a whole felt very 90s action movie, um, they were very deliberate. Same with the cinematography. It feels as if there was as much care put into when and how they use music and sound as they did with just framing things. Um, but yeah, like Connor, what would you say was a really good moment without spoiling?
Was a good. I would really say like the thing that stood out to me was a lot with like Tom Cruise and all the different like dynamic things he was doing. I love the sleight of hand when he's talking to like Jean Reno's character and he's got the fake disc. He's like, "Oh, where's it gonna go? Where's it gonna go?" He's like making it disappear up his sleeves and stuff like that. Like that's the
Yeah.
little stuff in this movie that really gets me.
Yeah,
Like I
and
just thought it was such a fun moment of like what the heck is going on here.
oh yeah, and it feels like that moment could almost be narratively speaking to the whole of the plot, which we'll talk about in a second, where it feels like there's a lot of sleight of handing all over the place with how it's organized. There's a lot of foreshadowing, it feels, throughout, and it feels similarly very tongue in cheek. Like you mentioned, they do the TV show esque intro where it takes clips from later in the movie that we haven't yet seen yet, and they just throw it in with the music montage intro at the very beginning, which like it's weird to kind of go back and experience a like here's a title intro sequence. Like the last thing that I can think of doing something like that would be like Spider-Man, where it has all of the clips and bits with music and the title. It really um contrasting that with Batman, with the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson that just came out, where it felt like they got the title out of the way. They went, all right, here it is, and it's gone. Now you're in the movie. Having that little intro sequence, it felt like a way of really hyping it up. Like, oh yeah, no, here's the teaser. Let's go, let's go. Um, that was really entertaining. So now we'll talk about the plot a little bit more directly. It's it's funny thinking on it because it feels like Mission Impossible has this reputation as being the like sneaky heist spy film, but there was a pretty big element of mystery, as you were saying with it. I don't know, it's something that I have both an affection for and like mixed feelings for. um this movie
I
knows what it
enjoyed
wanted
that
to
it was
be.
like
Yeah,
the go ahead.
to me it felt like this movie knew what it wanted to be, and it's like the plot is there as a vehicle for the fun, and you get to just enjoy this roller coaster. You were saying?
I just I like the little bits of mystery in between things. Like there's a whole heist kind of going on, but the whole time they're also having to contend with who done it.
Yeah.
I like how that's like always a background thing that they're also having to tackle
Yeah. Yeah.
while also trying to get the main list.
And while it does have a little bit of a whodunit aspect, it it doesn't feel like anything's out of left field, which is always a little bit of the worry there, I feel like. Um, but it does manage to keep things I don't know if keeps the right word. It still feels as if the movie is a bit predictable. And I don't know how much of that is the fact that they are very open with their foreshadowing. I mean, you have an intro sequence where I think the purpose of the intro, in addition for like setting some of the tone of like, hey, welcome to the crazy spy movie thing, is this like, here's a rug pull right out the gate. Nothing is going to be as it seems. Type of aspect. I mean, you even get that where after the intro, they have their initial plan setup stuff, and you have Tom Cruise in this old man mask that they don't even really acknowledge until he rips it off, which comes up later in the movie again. Like, that's the kind of stuff where there's so much foreshadowing in it. It feels like it's really tight, but it also feels like it kind of detracts from the mystery aspect. But that's a nitpick in my opinion. Like this movie, it feels like it knows this is a roller coaster ride. Enjoy it for what it is. This isn't like it's not trying to say this grander plot theme thing. It's here as a vehicle for the fun. That's kind of how
Absolutely.
I felt with how it was executed. And then something that it was refreshing to see a movie that kind of took itself seriously as an action film, especially coming off of all of the Marvel stuff and the like, where there's quips all over the place, even in dramatic moments. This movie takes itself seriously, and I think
It
that
always
just
keeps itself like very grounded. Like the consequences are always very close.
yeah,
Like even just the classic moment where Tom Cruise falls suddenly. That moment's like huge.
yeah, and I think that's something that is reflected in in how it was shot and how they use the music and the like. Everyone associates that orchestral bump 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 as being like the stealth thing, like you're on the mission. And how it's used in this movie, ironically, is no, we're just preparing for the mission. Like they're getting ready to steal information from the CIA that it makes Fort Knox look like a candy store type of thing. And when they actually are on mission, they say, all right, silence. We're not speaking from this point on, kind of thing. And you just get to sit in that silence the whole time. I don't. The last time I think I can recall there being a moment of silence that makes things even more tense would probably be like 2001: A Space Odyssey, where Hal starts murdering the crew. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, oh, as the audience member. That was really, really cool to see. And the quipping it's so it's both natural, it feels organic, and it feels like it serves the purpose in the plot, like whether it's establishing the character as this way or in being a grander kind of aspect. So let's go to the sleight of hand thing where he's like, "Oh, here's the disc. Oh, is it here? Oh, you haven't seen it? It's up the sleeve. Ha 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 ha." And the guy's like, "Yeah, whatever. Don't just try anything like that with my money." And he storms out, tossing the disc he thought was real into the garbage bin. And then Tom Cruise goes over to the garbage bin and picks it up, and the guy's like, "Hold on, he actually had the disc." He's like, "Well, yeah." And that kind of ties into the theme of this movie is a whole bunch of sleight of hands and misdirects and
Yeah,
red
like
herrings
for all
all
the
over.
high tech and everything they have, all this crazy stuff they do, just a little bit of
Whoop.
sleight of hand will get you right everything you want.
Yep, exactly.
Oh,
And same thing goes with the whole like uh the whole her as the femme fatale, taking some aspects of noir type of thing at the very end of the movie where she the love interest who's Claire, I think is her name. I don't remember. Uh where she goes and is just like, hey, we can take the money and just leave, just the two of us, and then whoop, it's Tom Cruise. It's stuff like that where it's like they know that it exists, they know that it's part of the plot, it's just in the execution and the sleight of hand of it in universe that feels organic and natural. And like it's both a like ooh from an audience member side, and also a little bit again like natural quippy without going so far as to take you out of the moment. Like he doesn't pull like a gotcha, or in that moment he's not as flamboyantly arrogant as he was with the disc thing, where it's a calmer moment, it's not as serious, you know, there's not a lot of stakes in that time. While they're on the train, the stakes are high, so the quippiness goes down. You know, there's a good balancing act that I feel a lot more of the modern movies have been lacking. I think Batman would probably be the next example of, I would say, of something where the quippiness is kept to a minimum in a good way, where like you get a thumb drive joke with a literal thumb, and that's like the only time that people laughed in that movie. like that's about that. And that's, yeah, I don't even know. Mission Impossible, what an adventure. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to start getting through all the other ones, or I'm gonna have to start getting through all the other ones too.
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited.
Maybe further down the line we'll keep going down the Mission Impossible train.
Maybe we'll do Oceans next.
Ooh, like
the one
Ocean's
with
11?
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
The one that actually has Brad Pitt in it.
Yeah, earlier
sound like an idiot.
Earlier we're mistaking Brad Pitt for Tom Cruise. It's like, hold on, wait a second. Well, following that, Connor, where can we check you out at?
As always, you can find me at 5string Connor on YouTube, Bant Cleric on the Discord, Nonsense Narrator on Pokemon Showdown, and you can also find me Bant Cleric on Steam if you're playing some KOF, looking to catch it. Undisputed king, baby.
The
Undisputed.
Reigns supreme.
For weeks. Over KOF and Pokemon.
Absolutely.
The gauntlet has been cast. Come get me.
And as for me, I'm always here. Gillidan for the win, or Narratives and Nonsense on Mondays. We post every Monday. And then for Gillidan for the win, I stream Halo on Sundays. I've been slowly going through the story there. And we've been going through Kingdom Hearts. Both are with different friends. Kingdom Hearts is with John. He's never experienced that, so I am his shepherding guide there on Wednesdays. And on Sundays, that would be my friend Marcus, who is very intimate with the Halo universe. I wonder if he's seen the new show that released. I don't know if we're going to talk about that or not. It's only one episode so far, so I feel like there's not enough to warrant.
If you're interested.
Yeah, maybe in the future we might. Yeah, we might discuss it a little bit further, especially as I continue with the Halo story. Like, once we get to the end of that, maybe we'll dip into the show. Enough might have been released by that point. But, yeah, that all being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and you're staying happy and healthy.